So the other day there was an interesting tidbit that came up. It was a clip from a Tokyo Game Show interview where literally the creator of Dragon Quest, Yuji Horii, basically called out woke. He said that he's tired of having to make changes for games, that you have to censor things, and I'm just freestyling here, but essentially he exposed it all. Well, now apparently Square Enix is trying to scrub this video from the face of the internet because it was maliciously translated or some crap. It's weird that when it goes against the woke narrative, translation matters. But if it was something else, like previously when people claim that Wukong's developers were mistranslated, it didn't matter. Remember that when IGN misrepresented game science in regards to Black Myth Wukong and they maliciously mistranslated him and they didn't try to scrub it away. They just left it the way it was. Yeah, that's weird that when, let's say, Square Enix is involved, they have to make sure that they keep this modern audience happy. Let's scrub all the stuff calling out the woke narrative, right? So if you guys weren't familiar with this, they made some remarks about the game's forced design changes, most notably stuff like the body type A and body type B cringe instead of male, female, and some of the censorship, right? And now I don't know what to believe here because the video, the original interview, is privated on YouTube. There's thankfully a lot of re-uploads. There's some on Rumble and on Twitter and stuff, but it's literally been scrubbed from the face of the internet. And it's because Square Enix is unfortunately part of this echo chamber. Even though they kind of removed themselves from Sweet Baby Inc. on their website, they're still part of it. They're literally forced to bend the knee to the woke agenda if you're having to scrub off your videos. Or why is it being scrubbed? Okay, so like I mentioned, he made this interview basically calling it all out, and there was even people calling him a Nazi, a chud. This was a infamous tweet that was in response to it saying, Yuji going Nazi was not on my bingo sheet. So they called him Nazi just because he was saying it's frustrating to have to appeal to an audience from a different country that worries about woke stuff, which is the West, America. It was supposedly mistranslated by Valut News, who posted this tweet saying, I would like to sincerely apologize for the incorrect English subtitles created for Mr. Kazuhiko Torishima's statement. In the scene where he mentioned Puritan, it was mistakenly translated as sex education. This error was due to my mishearing. I deeply apologize for any inconvenience caused to all parties involved. And they're getting flamed. You could see Smash JT saying, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. And it's leading a little bit of a conspiracy theory situation going here with Savvy saying they deleted the original as well without any translation. You did a great job and accidents happen. Corrections can be issued in a follow-up tweet, but you caused no inconvenience. Kita says, did you get a legal threat? Does this mean you'll update the translation and re-upload the interview? It was a very good interview talking about major censorship issues with works out of Japan. So you can see people are calling it out. If this was the only mistake, you should not have deleted it. Or did someone threaten you in any way? And that's the problem is they got a call. They got a call. Don't try to beat around the bush. They got told take that shit down. Because again, it goes against this woke narrative. You can't have a creator and somebody that runs a comic book with Shonen Jump. You had both the creator of Dragon Quest and then the other individual of Shonen Jump calling out woke controversies and stuff, literally calling out body type A, body type B, the useless censorship that's made to appeal to this modern audience so that they don't offend anybody. You can't call it out without being punished, right? And on top of that, you had other people. Literally, the creator of Dragon Quest said, in Dragon Quest, you used to be able to choose between a male and female main character, but now you can't choose between a man and a woman anymore. We have to label them as type 1 and type 2. I really wonder who's even complaining about this. Like, whoa. That is fucking fantastic. He won me over as a fan. Who's really complaining about this? It's this modern audience that has to bitch about crap. The modern audience that makes things like Mrs. Freeze. The modern audience that thinks games like Dustborn and Concord belong here. This modern audience that wants to feel represented and then they don't show up. They don't show up. And Dragon Quest has been run through the mud since this whole body type A, body type B thing. And I know a lot of people are like, what's the big deal? Games have had this. Games do. It's a big deal. It's part of this whole thing of removing gender labels, right? They want everything to be androgynous. And yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but trust me, it starts with this. And if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. And this literally pissed off people. This statement clearly pissed off somebody because they're scrubbing it. Square Enix, I guess, didn't like the negative attention from it either because they're doing everything about it to kind of remove it, right? You even have these weird statements being made from broadcasting stations saying on the afternoon of September 30th, Japan time, Mr. Musk said regarding the controversy and related reports regarding the reposting of an overseas news site that had reproduced a video with English subtitles of streaming a program. I guess basically they're saying Elon Musk's statement that he did. I think he reposted the original thing, if I'm not mistaken. Usually when you have these English translations, it kind of messes it up. But basically, they're fucking saying Elon Musk was a piece of shit for promoting a mistranslation, essentially. And you just have all these people like running coverage and interference. Like just over 2 minutes of the nearly 90-minute talk from the live broadcast program he appeared on was maliciously cut out without context by a third party, and English subtitles were added by another third party with an unthinkable mistranslation. So they're saying out of all this huge interview, the only thing that got reposted and reshared was a thing of him saying the quiet part out loud. That's literally what it comes down to. They were upset that what, I guess, out of everything in this 90-minute interview that could be clipped was the part that they didn't want people to know. And that's because this guy doesn't want to pander to this modern audience. And of course, social media, the squeaky wheels squeak the loudest. That's why they're going out of their way to try to scrub it. That's why they're making all this damage control. Like, oh, these guys were mistranslated. If they were mistranslated, but the rest of the interview was good, why are you taking it down? Why are you hiding everything? It's because that part of the interview went against y'all's echo chamber. And that's what is wrong with the video game industry at this point. They're all infected with it. Like, literally, companies do not give a shit about video games anymore. They don't. They're more worried about stupid bullshit in their video games like body types A, body types B, putting LGBTQ members in it, making sure characters are a person of color. Dragon Quest also had a lot of censorship. And it's like you get 1 foot in and 1 foot out when Sweet Baby Inc. no longer has Square Enix listed. But now is it just ops so that they don't get heat anymore? Is Square Enix still in bed with them? They just want to publicly announce it? Why are they going through all these hoops to scrub this original video off the internet? They're getting torched on Twitter. Like, as we're speaking, guys, they're getting torched. And instead of it, like the old saying is the truth shall set you free. I would respect a company a lot more if they were more honest about it. Like imagine if they're like, hey guys, we didn't appreciate this guy saying this about the woke narrative. We're trying to appeal to a modern audience, and we don't want that. Like, I wouldn't like it, but I would respect it more than them being shady and having different companies run damage control and saying that they were mistranslated, and then the English subtitles on that were mistranslated. The problem is that these companies don't know any bounds, and they don't know what real consumers want. Good on the Dragon Quest creator and the other individual calling this out. But if you haven't seen this interview, you're probably going to have to go to Rumble or go to some kind of other third-party website to see it, because they're actively removing it. And who knows, maybe they'll start copyright striking people who are re-uploading it. But this is a sign of censorship, guys. This is a sign of them controlling the narrative. This is like some fucking 1984 bullshit. And it goes beyond just video games. It goes into our entertainment, our news. If it goes against what narrative they want to tell you, they will eliminate it. You're not allowed to have your own individual thought. And Yuji went out of the narrative, and he probably got yelled at. He probably fucking actually got yelled at. So what do you guys think of this? Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'll see you in the next one.